Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, and I'm back again with another really interesting video which is part of our Langchain Basics series, a series where we cover all the behind the scenes cool concepts of a wonderful chatbot called as ChatGPT. In this video guys, we are going to discuss about memory, so without wasting any time further, let's get started. So first thing first guys, before I start explaining the concept of memory, let's see a really interesting conversation in ChatGPT. Okay, so let's say I open ChatGPT and I'm just asking ChatGPT a question like, hey, can you help me name a movie I'm producing? Okay, let's say I'm a movie producer and I want to ask ChatGPT some suggestions for name. Now you can see that the bot actually says to me, can you please provide me some information about the movie, like what's the genre of the movie, what's the plot, anything. So now I say to the bot like it's a space adventure movie. Okay, now I gave the bot some theme, and now you can see that it is giving me a lot of suggestions like Cosmic Odyssey, Stellar Quest, blah blah blah, right? Now if I ask the bot this question, what did I just ask you before? Now this question has nothing to do with the movie, but the bot does say to me that you asked me for helping you name a movie that you are producing, and especially mentioning that it is a space adventure movie. Now here you can see guys that in this answer, the bot actually remembers the whole past conversation. It knows that I asked him to name a movie, and it also knows that I asked it that it's a space adventure movie, blah blah blah, right? So how is the bot being able to do that? And that is something which is the concept of memory covers, because it basically shows you that whenever you ask a question to a bot like ChatGPT, it not only just considers your question, so it just didn't consider this particular question or the basic prompt that you first gave it. It actually considers the entire conversation which was there in the memory, and takes that as a context and then answers your question. Okay, and how cool is that guys, that the bot is actually able to remember your whole past conversation just like a human. Now let's see this concept in a little bit more detail through this diagram. So you can see guys that this is a question I asked. So let's say the question was, what did I just ask you to do? This was the question. To answer this question, the model, the Langchain actually places this question in the prompt. So there is a question here in our prompt, but the prompt also has all the past messages inside it. Now this becomes my whole prompt, and this prompt is now given to the model. The model has an output parser and finally gives the answer. Now the question is, how do the past messages became part of the prompt? And they became part of the prompt using this memory object. So what happens is that this memory object is actually storing all the answers. So whenever an answer is produced, the memory object actually gets written, and this memory object keeps itself updating, and it produces this object called as past messages. It produces this variable called as past messages, where all the past answers, all the past messages are present, and this is now fed every single time the bot is asked a question. Okay, so that's how the memory model actually works. Now I think we are through with the concept of memory guys, and I know we now know a little bit more about the theory, how it works, and this is all which is written here in text as well. I think now is the time that we actually start implementing memory in Langchain. Okay, so let's jump into it. So the first thing first guys, that we need to do some import. So the first thing I'm going to import is I'm going to import OpenAI, right? The next thing we are going to import is our PromptTemplate. So I guess from my previous videos, if you have seen those videos, you know that we need the model to create my LLM model to make some predictions, and we need the prompt template to ask the question to the model. Okay, so we need these two imports. Now if you guys have seen my last video in which I discussed LLM chain, you know that all these things, so you can see the prompt template, the model, the answer, everything, all these things actually work as a chain. Okay, so this it's like a pipeline. You first create the template, you create the model, and then both of these are actually fed as a pipeline thing to a chain. Okay, so we also need our LLM chain import, because now we are going to not only feed or not only create a chain with prompt template and a model, we will also need a memory in this chain as well. Which brings me to the last import that we are going to do, that's our memory class. And for this particular session, guys, we are going to use conversational buffer memory. Okay, there are other types of memories also, guys, but we are not going to discuss them because this is just a basic video. Okay, so that becomes my import, and once the import is done, then we'll go to the next step. Okay, so what's the next step? The next step is to create a prompt template, guys. Okay, so let's say this is my prompt template. My prompt template is basically saying that I'm a chatbot having a conversation with a human. Now just forget about this chat history, just look at this. This is a human input. So you can see that you can that you can give input variables to a prompt template. Now the one input is human input. Now this human input is nothing but a question. So this is a question I am asking a bot. Let's say my question was, what did I just ask you? That becomes your human input, the one which you just typed. The next input variable is chat history. Now this chat history is nothing but the past messages. So you can see this prompt here. So my human input is the question and the past messages is the chat history. Actually, you know what? Let me just change it. I'm going to name this as past messages, and this becomes the question. Okay, I hope that is clear. So now my template is created. So now I'm going to create my prompt template object. So my prompt template object is going to be prompt template, and I'm going to have my input variables, right? So input variables equals to, and the two input variables that I have mentioned here are past messages and question, right? So let's say past messages here and then question. So I have now copy pasted both. My template is going to be the template which I just created. So that becomes my template, and boom, my prompt template is created. But now the question is, okay, so we have a prompt template that is taking past messages to consider, but who is feeding this past messages? Who is actually writing this input variable to be fed into the prompt template? And you guys may have already guessed it, that we are going to create a memory object. So let's create a memory object. So we are going to instantiate this class called as conversation buffer memory. And to make sure that the input variable past messages is the variable which gets updated every time a conversation is going through, we pass into this conversation buffer memory a argument called as memory key. So memory key is past messages. So this past messages is going to store all the previous conversation history. Okay, so let's run this code. Now once we have that, it's time to create the basic thing, right? Just create my Langchain model, which is my LLM model. So LLM becomes equals to OpenAI. Now LLM chain equals to LLM chain. So LLM chain. And what are the variables you think I'm gonna pass in it? One thing is my model, right? Then I'm going to pass my prompt, right? Then I'm going to pass my memory, and that's going to be memory. Okay, so I passed all these things, but one more thing I'm going to do, I'm going to set the verbals equals to true, because once I set the verbals equals to true, all the conversation history that's being happening, all the past messages that are being fed to the model, LLM underscore chain is going to basically predict it. So basically what's happened is that all the behind the scenes is going to get printed with verbose equals to true. Okay, so let's do that. Now it's a time for the truth, right? Let's say I do LLM chain dot predict. Hi there, my friend. And you can see that this fails because it's saying missing some input keys question, because yes, I passed here human input whereas I should have passed question. Okay, so you now so now actually this proves the point that when you do LLM chain dot predict and you are actually passing the question, the thing that you want to predict, either you don't pass it at all, or if you're passing it, then you have to really just either you don't pass it, or if you are passing it, then you have to make sure that the input variable question is here. Okay, but I'm going to still put it here, and let's run this code now. And now you can see that how cool is it that it is actually printing the entire template, because we have said verbose equals to true. So it says you're a chatbot having a conversation with a human. So what is the human input? So just remember this template, right? This was the template we created. So first thing was past messages. There are no past messages, so this is not printed, but the human is asking an input, and that's the question. And you can see it says the human asks, hi there my friend, right? So now I want to test that the memory thing actually worked. So now I will do LLM chain dot predict question. Not too bad. How are you? Okay. Now if I run this, you will see that it actually says the human input, which was hi there my friend, the chatbot input, which was the AI input, that AI said hi there, how can I help you? Human said not too bad, and then how are you, right? So basically you can see that the entire conversation is being held here, and the entire conversation is now passed to the bot as a context in the prompt template. So now if I do just one other thing, like what did I just ask you? I'll just ask the same question. What did I just said to you? What did I just ask you? Question. Now you can say that it's say, the entire chain is printed, and then the bot answers, you asked me how I am doing. How cool is that, guys? That the bot remembers that I asked him that that I'm doing good, how are you doing, and the bot, all that conversation. And when I ask the bot that what were we talking about, the bot actually answers me that you asked me how I am doing from the past conversations, taking that as a context. Okay. So that was all about memory, guys. There are a lot of things in memory, and we are going to use this in our future videos. But for now, I just wanted you to introduce with the concept, so you guys can be familiarized with it, and you can do your own hit and trial with it. So I hope you guys liked this video, and I hope you did learn something from it. If it did help you in any way, guys, then please do not forget to like this video and share this video with your friend. If you have not yet subscribed to my channel, then please do subscribe and hit the bell icon for future notifications of more such programming, coding, and interesting tech videos. And guys, if you have any questions, comments, suggestions, feedback for me, please do write down in the comment section below. I would be happy to read them. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you guys in the next video very soon, and take care till then, and bye bye.